Welcome to the South Ops Fire Weather Webcast for Wednesday, January 14th. I'm your host, Kristen Stewart. With strong high pressure in place over the western U.S., once again there is not much to see on the visible satellite imagery this morning, especially with regards to coastal low clouds. The exception is that there is now a return of a little more Tule fog across the San Joaquin Valley. This is due to lingering surface moisture combined with strong stability from the high pressure and cold overnight temperatures. These clouds may be a bit sluggish to clear over the coming hours thanks to the stable weather pattern. As high pressure continues to stick around, very warm temperatures and persistent Santa Ana winds will continue to be our main weather story. The current wind observations this morning over Southern California continue to indicate that Santa Ana winds are sticking around. Northeast to east winds remain quite common through the Santa Ana wind corridors, with gusts largely in the 25 to 40 mile an hour range, as seen in the red text, especially through the canyons and valleys. These winds are mostly driven by an offshore pressure gradient, and there is very limited upper-level support to enhance these surface winds. As a result, winds are not expected to strengthen much further, even during the peak timing, which usually occurs in the late morning to early afternoon hours. Stronger gusts of at least 50 miles an hour will be possible at times over windier spots in the higher terrain. There will be a little bit of a lull in winds by the time we get to the late afternoon and evening hours. Then winds will pick right back up late tonight and we'll be back into similar conditions tomorrow. With respect to our weather pattern, there will be very little change as we continue through the work week and even into the weekend. Strong high pressure is expected to remain draped across the western U.S. for several more days, keeping very warm, dry, and breezy conditions in place. High pressure will start to weaken early to mid next week, bringing a nice break from the windiness, but it will continue to remain warm and dry. Looking into late next week, there have been indications regarding a pattern change back to cooler and perhaps wetter weather, though there remains plenty of uncertainty in the forecast models as to what might happen. For now, we can only say there is a good chance of cooler temperatures and an end to this offshore wind pattern late next week. The gusty Santa Ana winds are likely to continue through Saturday, then will begin to weaken late this weekend as high pressure begins to break down. Winds through early next week will likely remain lightly offshore, then may potentially shift back onshore by Tuesday or Wednesday alongside a potential pattern change. The strong high pressure combined with gusty offshore winds will keep very warm temperatures in place through the rest of the week, especially for locations south and west of the Southern California coastal slopes. Temperatures are expected to peak today through Friday for these areas, with highs ranging in the low to mid 80s, which is around 10 to 15 degrees above seasonal normal. Despite these very warm temperatures for January, record high temperatures look to be a little bit out of reach. Temperatures over these regions will then start to cool down a little bit late this weekend into early next week as Santa Ana winds back off and high pressure begins to weaken, though it will remain very warm for the SoCal coastal areas in the mid to upper 70s. Temperatures across central California will remain cooler and mostly persistent through the period in the 60s and 70s. The dry air will also continue through the rest of this week thanks to the strong high pressure in Santa Ana winds, particularly across the windier areas of Southern California. Minimum humidity will remain largely in the teens and 20s across much of Southern California, though localized upper single digits will be likely over the higher terrain and windier spots. Poor overnight humidity recoveries will be common across the higher terrain and windier areas of Southern California through the week as well. Humidity will be a little higher across Central California, though still low overall, except for the San Joaquin Valley and adjacent foothills. As Santa Ana winds back off and high pressure weakens, humidity will start to slowly improve early next week. Despite the long duration period of gusty Santa Ana winds, dry air, and very warm temperatures, large fire potential will remain very low through the period. This is all thanks to the significant widespread precipitation we received in December. Dead fuel moistures will be on rapid falling trends, but most of the fuel out there is now in the live category, and live fuel moistures have significantly risen in recent weeks. This live fuel moisture is acting as a major barrier to fire spread. Now, we would like to see more precipitation occur to keep us in this period of low fire danger for a longer time frame, but forecast projections are not looking promising for more precipitation in the near future. Regardless, we should continue to be in this quiet period for a while. And that's all I have for today. Thanks for tuning in. Our next webcast will be on Friday, January 16th. Have a fantastic day.